garbage. The handle must come forwards because the fact that that handle has moved further behind where it started, that handle must move forwards. Today I want to talk a little bit more about arm lift and the direction you pull the golf club in on the way down. If you've seen one of my videos where the camera is from above, that one up there, don't go watch it just yet, stay with me for the end of this video, where I talk about how the handle needs to move forwards for us to sense that we can get some down strike and to create a club path that works from the inside to create a golf ball bending to the left. Remember, bending to the left is going to inspire so much goodness in your golf swing compared to the one that's bending to the right that really inspires a lot of bad things. You can see I moved my handle forwards there and the path was still from the inside. If you want to find out more about that, as I say, go check out that video at the end of this one. Today, I want to really give you more detail on when you should feel that forward pull more and when you might want to feel it less. Understand that at address, the gap between the handle and the ball line at address is set by your posture. Now, most of the time when golfers stand on my mat, they are standing too upright, the handle too much out in front of them, and invariably the relationship of the shaft to the spine is not angular enough. And what this causes is the head weight has too much impetus and power over the handle. The more we set the club shaft and the spine in 90 degrees at address, the more opportunity I have of getting the handle back down underneath me. So that is crucial when you're trying to create this handle pressure on the golf ball that lines the face back up, that gives you that angle of attack and that really nice path line. So the angle of attack at 6 down, a couple of degrees across there, but very, very straight. Why is this important, Stuart? Well, it's important because how we set our posture will dictate to a large degree how much arm lift we have in a backswing, which will dictate how much you can feel the handle pull more forwards. Now, the more a golfer stands with their spine very upright, the more the pitch of the arms would want to be on a flatter plane. What ends up happening when you stand a little too upright is invariably you have too much arm lift. And so when you then have too much arm lift in your backswing, the need to allow this golf club to settle down without you unraveling the body is huge, so that you do get some opportunity to make the club swing from the inside. Therefore, when I talk about how much we pull the handle forwards, and I get the keyboard warriors out there telling me that you can't pull the handle forwards, absolute garbage. The handle must come forwards because the fact that that handle has moved further behind where it started, that handle must move forwards. If it continued to work down, we would be in a lot of bother because we'd be running into the ground or we'd be having a club path so far out to the right that we'd be hitting balls forever and a day into a different county. You can see that path line was 12.6 from the inside there. It only bent back because I had a face close to the path. So when we start to think about the gap between where my handle starts and where my handle finishes in a backswing, how low and back behind me it is, compared to how much up in front of me it is, you can see the gap between where the handle started and where it is at the top of the backswing are much smaller than when I make an arm pitch work more around me. So when an arm pitch gets flatter, we need to have more angle in our posture to help us line the geometry up, to line the angle of attack up. And so as I start to tip more over the golf ball, the more opportunity I can feel like my arm pitch and plane can sit more behind me. And as a rule of thumb, left arm across shoulder angle at the top of the backswing. And I'll share with you how you're going to get that arm plane correct in a moment. So stay with me for a couple of drills, not only on that, but then the drill on how to pull it down. When I now get myself more angular at address, and then I make a backswing, I can now get my arm plane flatter than if I was to stand upright. Obviously an exaggeration. Can you see how my arms would be so flat that I'd really battle to get back to the golf ball? Which is why a golfer will then want to try to pick his arms up from being in poor posture at address to try to get the golf ball to some degree. So that posture at address really has a huge impact in setting the plane in which you can swing your arms at, which will then give you the opportunity to either feel your handle move more forwards and hit a shot, or whether your arm pitch is out because your posture is out at address, which creates a necessity for you to feel like your arms drop, keep your back to the target, and swing the club from the inside. So your arm pitch and plane that is directly related to how you stand to the golf ball will determine how much a golfer can feel the arm and the hands move forwards to move the golf club around them and hit a beautiful little draw at the target. The reason why I brought this to the table is because I had a lovely gentleman come see me yesterday, Manoj, working on some pulling the handle forwards, but had completely lost his arm pitch on the way back. So, a great drill for getting your arm pitch right to give you the best opportunity to pull the handle forwards in your downswing is, in your posture, we need to start to think about club shaft and spine at 90 degrees when we're set up to the golf ball. Then you're going to need to try to feel a little bit more pressure into the heels of your feet. That is the first part. Then what I want you to do is lift your handle up so your hand is at the same height as your shoulder. Now when it's at the same height as your shoulder, when you make a rotation without lifting your arms up, your arms are going to be in nuts and bolts in the right spot for you to feel like you can create the right arm pitch. Hands up to the same height as shoulder. Now make a rotation. Now you're in the right spot to be able to swing that golf club down into the golf ball. From there, we can then start to feel, as you then make that backswing in a better arm pitch, we're now going to try to keep the handle high and move it back to the golf ball. So we lift the arms up to shoulder height, we make a backswing, and then what you're going to start to feel is that you just unravel yourself and you keep the hands at the same height. And what I then want you to do is just lower the hands and line the face back up. That's the sensation that you're going to feel when you're hitting the golf ball, that the handle is dropping. So you feel the handle forwards and the handle dropping. Now it doesn't happen to that extent, but that is where the energy is coming from. From the top of the back, so I'm pulling it forwards. I'm pulling it forwards to feel like I can get around the golf ball. And the more I pull it forwards, the more the shaft pitch will try to lay itself down on the way down, which if you've watched my last video I put out about shallowing the shaft, you will really comprehend that. So understand how the arm lift that harmonizes with how you stand to the golf ball is going to give you the best possible chance of moving the handle forwards in your downswing and getting the golf club to move around you and still hit the golf ball from the inside. It's really very, very simple. If you've got yourself a good grip, the face will start to line up. So get yourself in decent posture, get those arms lifted up to shoulder height, make your backswing, then you can start to feel how the handle moves forwards. And maybe, just maybe, when you start hitting shots that look something like that, you'll really... If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. Start to enjoy the game that little bit more. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for being with me. Do consider subscribing while you're here, and I'll see you next time. That, my friends, is good coaching.